Oh shit. Yo, go away. Oh look, it's that. It's not what I was trying to watch. So I forgot to get the fucking stream up on my fucking phone so that I can see what's going on. I can talk to people. Oh, there we go. Hello, Trump Stump. Here, I made this new playlist on this channel called my all-time favorite YouTube videos. If you'd rather watch them on your own without my commentary, I would recommend doing that instead of watching this video. I'm just gonna. In fact, I'm gonna make this a little more. You know, I feel bad about just stealing people's content, so I'm gonna try and make it a little more about my commentary, which is done by doing this. Apparently, can I like stretch my? No, I can't change the aspect ratio. That's a shame. Look at this. Got my hair tied up in a little thing. It's pretty funny. Alright, let's get going. These first two videos are both really long. So maybe I should start like with this one. I think I'll just start from the beginning. This guy,
alright,
you may recognize him from my
hello everybody. Today is just
YouTuber 3x3
Peter
video.
here, and I'm just going to be doing some normal stuff like I normally do with these post-it notes. Nothing out of the ordinary. What you're going to want to do is go to your post-it note drawer.
I don't have any
get your
post-it notes,
out.
sadly.
Alright?
I could draw them just on the screen. In
The nice thing about post-it notes is you can fold them up like this. And they're sticky,
I agree with you, Peter.
so they stay folded.
That is a nice thing about post-it notes. Oh, can you guys hear? Can you hear me? Is my
You're going to want to
Okay,
start
that
drawing
works.
on this. How you feel.
test?
You
Yeah.
might feel
Go
happy. Or you might feel some other way, right? Sometimes this is how I feel. These post-it notes are good because they're not too big and they're not too small. They're just the perfect size
I need to get some
for
post-it
drawing
notes.
how you feel.
I should give this a try, you know. I should get a pad of post-it notes and a Sharpie and do
You
this.
don't have to show this to anybody.
Do you know who you're talking to, Peter?
Don't even have to tell anyone that you're doing this.
But all I know how to do is show people me doing
Right?
it.
See, that's a good way to draw how you feel.
I can't
I've
say I've
definitely
ever,
felt this way before.
can't say I've ever had that particular one.
then you might have a little bleed through. See, I'm using a little pen called a Sharpie permanent marker, and it's it bleeds through a lot of different paper types.
This is true. I found this
There
as
are
well.
different types of pens, right, with different types of ink in them. Some pens don't even have ink in them. They have a little thing in them we call lead, or if you're a scientist, you'd say graphite. We call those pens pencils. This Sharpie
not sure
is
those are
not one of
pens.
those. This Sharpie has something else in it.
This
It
might
bleeds
turn
through,
into
so
a
you can-
Minecraft stream. I just want to let you
And
guys know.
think about the way you felt on this Post-it
This
note
might turn into a
and go
Minecraft
ahead
stream at some point.
and work with what bled through
I found that Minecraft works
and
best
see how you
as
feel
a
in the next one.
something to do while I'm
If you
listening
don't
to a
want to draw how you
podcast.
feel today, you can think about how you might have felt in the past.
Is the audio good? Would you like me to
I
turn
do sometimes.
the
I've
video up or
definitely
myself up or
this way
down?
before.
Is it good?
It's okay to get scribbly. Get in there. Just really get in there. Scribble away. I usually buy more than one Sharpie in case I ruin one, you know? Okay, I'm sorry. Let's go. And I find these big dark areas and I kind of soften out the edges. Like this.
I've definitely felt like this before.
Come back up around here. You guys following along? Everyone's on their third Post-it note right now, right? Good. You're doing great.
It's not discount Bob
Feeling
Ross.
better in no time.
It's equally as good Bob Ross. I'm telling you,
Huh?
this guy's channel's amazing. I've been watching him since he had 10,000
Let me move
subs,
on to the next one.
and now he has like 500,000 subs.
This one I'm actually going to draw an eyeball and then another eyeball. So when you draw an eyeball,
Oh, I realize
important.
if you don't know who this man is, you may not think you may not understand. This guy's actually like a professional artist. You can see, so he's very good.
welcome
He is rather
to
good.
Peter.
Oh, this is a really old one. It's not that old. He just
Welcome
finished
to
another
Peter
one.
Draws.
Here, this is the newer one. Here, you can see he's like, this one's a little more scribbly. He's got some scribbles in here, but in general, he's a very good artist. I like his stuff a lot. He's fucking sick. But no one, yeah, he has a lot of YouTube followers, but I think he's never had like a proper exhibition or anything.
To adhere to the strict rules of reality. And those involve
Brooklyn-
drawing
I don't know.
tear ducts when you draw an eyeball. The tear duct resides right here in the inner corner of each eye,
This is true.
unless you're an alligator, in which case you have 16 or 17 tear ducts. Have you ever heard the fable about alligator tears? There's something fearsome. I didn't even mean to draw anything that looked like tears here, but then I inadvertently did. You'll find out things about yourself through drawing. Scary, terrifying, otherwise totally unknowable things.
Very interesting.
I don't know how to draw lips. This actually kind of looks like a monocle because I didn't draw an iris in there. I'm okay with that. Should that be a monocle? Sometimes I do feel like that.
I think I felt like
Sometimes
that as
I
well.
feel like this. Sometimes I feel like this. Sometimes, on some days, it's not entirely unheard of that I would feel like this.
I
But
think
then
I
you move on to the next post-it note.
I can relate to
You
that
move on
one.
to the next day and find another way to feel. It's okay if you feel the same way more than one day in a row, though. That's not abnormal. It's not necessary to find a new feeling every day.
That's true. Whoa, man. Hey,
Some people
it's been a while since I've
loiter
seen
on
you
one feeling
around these
for
parts, Outlaw. What up?
almost their entire lives.
17 hours of sleep.
And I don't know whether to be impressed or...
I should turn this
No.
down a little bit. That's a pretty long
Impressed or
sleep.
whatever
It's a
other
pretty long
feeling it
sleep.
is.
It's a pretty big weed. Pretty big weed. Only the first 2 videos in this playlist are really long, so hopefully the stream shouldn't be insane. I do have to go to
Definitely got me
university
feeling
tomorrow,
some kind of way.
which sucks. Oh, also, I'm gonna finally buy my moss plant tomorrow. I'm gonna buy my friend,
And whenever felt like this
and by
before?
buy I mean
Now let me
actually,
ask you,
there's a good
This
chance I
is a
just
little
go to the park
personal.
and find some moss.
I know it is, but this is just you and I here. Has anyone ever felt like this before?
Oh, I felt like that. I have felt like that 100%.
Have you ever felt like this before?
Have you? Have you guys felt like that before? I have.
This you might be more likely to tell me. Have you felt like this before?
I don't think I felt like that before.
That's better, right? I have. I think I'm happy to say I have felt like this before.
I think I felt something similar to that, but not exactly
One time
that
when
before. The
I was having a
previous one
birthday
I can
party.
relate to a lot though.
and no one showed up, I felt like this. And then one time when people showed up, I felt like this. I don't really like having birthday parties for myself. I like going to other people's birthday parties. You still get presents if you go to other people's birthday parties. You know, those little bags of party favors, lollipops, treats.
I
That's a good
recently
party
I've been
favor.
having my birthdays just with me and
Little
my
foam
internet
paper airplanes
friends.
you can put together.
I find that to be
get
more
those in the
rewarding
dentist's office.
than a party.
What age do you stop getting little treats at the dentist's office? I see the little closet of stuff last time I went to the dentist's office, and I should have asked for one of those lollipops. Or I could really use a ring pop sometimes. Just because I'm 27 doesn't mean I don't want a ring pop after the dentist.
What's a ring pop? Is that an American thing? Thing is you wake up smoking more than good. That's interesting. I find when I smoke them out a lot, I can't sleep because I just sit there being paranoid and worried about stuff. So I guess that's a good thing for you. That's an advantage you have. Some sort of
Felt like this before?
natural thing towards that sort of like it. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I
Close your
mean?
eyes.
I couldn't do that. It doesn't. It makes me like
It's
too nervous. I just lie there worrying about things.
It's pretty relatable. I want to yell a lot, but I don't.
This is a
Sometimes
really
when I'm
good
in the
bit.
car, I do. Look, just get pieces of paper and do this. Sometimes when you want to make art, you talk yourself out of it because you think, I don't know how, I can't. You literally tell yourself, I can't. I'm not good enough. Anyone can scribble. This is good art. You might not think so. I'm telling you right now, this is good art. It's just scribbles. It's good because it's like my version of. It's like some weird version of screaming, I suppose. And screaming's good too, as long as you're not like disturbing people,
I agree with that.
I guess.
Although I disturb people, my neighbors must hate me because I'm always screaming. By the way, check out my new cover on SoundCloud. There's a lot of screaming in
That
that.
sounded really emo. It's my version of screaming. It's okay. It's good to have emotions.
It's good to have
I was just
emotions.
talking about feelings anyways. That's a
You
good
should
one. I like
microdose
this
if you
one.
get paranoid. Uh,
I only have a few more post-it notes to go. What
um,
other feelings have I had? This
it's
one?
kind
I
of
had
hard to
this
talk
one.
while someone else is talking.
I've had this one. I mean, that one's not so bad, right?
I'm gonna turn this down a little more so that I can just have the visual thing. You should microdose if you get paranoid. It depends what you class as a microdose. I think I already do microdose compared to what most people have because I purposely keep my tolerance really low all the time. Like I just have a one hitter and I just use that. I never smoke joints or anything, not on my own anyway. Because
it's okay to have
I mean I don't see the point of wasting money. I purposely keep my tolerance really low.
It's just there for a while, and it goes away.
The experience, yeah. I also did. I had the same thing. The very first time I had, it was absolutely zero paranoia, but yeah, it definitely got better as I got more experienced. But you know, it's not like it ruins it. It's not like it ruins the entire experience with paranoia every time. It also just depends on the strain. A lot of the strains we get over here in London are very, I guess what you'd call skunk, right? Which is not great for paranoia. But actually, I do have this though, which is very helpful for that. CBD oil. Have a bit of that just after you dose. It tends to very much help me. Or just a single beer also helps.
I felt like, get in there.
Because it heightens so many of your senses, all the thoughts you hadn't worked through come to the forefront. It was very therapeutic for me to experience that. Yeah, I had the same thing.
And then this stuff, right? And then you're okay. Just fine. You're out.
Yeah.
Right? You're just,
I had the same thing where it was very useful to experience the anxiety response, but in a safe environment, like a safe anxiety that just came from the weed, and it helped me understand it better. That was a good experience. I would agree. If you're naturally introspective, you don't need weed to find out about your subconscious. Weed's overrated. I agree with you on that.
But it still hurts.
It's
still painful. And
it's just okay. There are much better drugs out there. But it's probably the best drug that you can do every day and have very few side effects. It's probably the best out. If that's your very small category, you want something that you can do literally all the time and have very few side effects, it's probably your best bet. But I don't think that's necessarily the best way to use these sorts of things. It doesn't mean I don't smoke. I smoke all the time, but whatever. What's with the thumbnail? What is is it moss? Is moss the thumbnail? I really like moss. I'm getting incredibly into moss. Here, look. There's even a moss tab open right now in my browser. Tomorrow I'm gonna go out before I go to class, and I'm gonna go to the park and find some moss. And I'm gonna bring a plastic bag with me. And I'm going to collect the moss and I'm going to put it in a little pot or something in my room. I'm going to keep it as a pet. Because mosses are really cool. Did you know, so moss is part of the family of what's known as, well, they're called non-vascular plants. Like most plants that you think of, like trees and flowers and all that stuff are vascular, right? They have vascules, they have little veins and stuff where water goes through. But mosses and liverworts and hornworts and some algae and stuff like that, and lichens, they don't have vascules, so they're non-vascular plants. And in particular, mosses are bryophytes. Now here's an interesting thing, is that dinosaurs, you know those guys, dinosaurs? Well, they popped up around 200 million years ago. The first things we could call dinosaurs were about 220 something million years ago. Well, mosses or bryophytes, the first evidence that we have of those is over 400 million years ago. So they're incredibly old creatures, life forms, that have barely changed in 400 million years. And I believe that mosses are some of the highest form of life. You could call me a moss supremacist, because I very big into the idea of mosses being pretty fucking great at being living things, and definitely much better at it than humans. I mean, how long have humans been around? Not even, what, like 40 million years or something? I think it's way less than that. Like mammals, all that shit, fuck them. Mosses are fucking the best. I've been doing loads of research into mosses. Let me look to see what I missed. So yeah, that's what's with the thumbnail. I'm gonna make a really long video about moss. It's gonna be a bunch of stuff. It's gonna be a bunch of stuff about it wrapped up in the theme of moss. I have some plans, but I don't want to spoil it.
I'm not depressed.
Kava and alcohol are also good. Well, alcohol is also good. I'm a big fan of that. Kava, I've heard, is very is as bad for your really bad for your liver if you do it regularly. Also, not super easy to get hold of over here because there's this law called the Psychoactive Substances Act, and I won't bore you with the details, but no one wants to sell Kava. But I've heard good things.
It was like this, right? And here was happiness.
But drugs suck, dependency and weed culture sucks. I can definitely agree with you that dependency and weed culture suck. I wouldn't say drugs suck. I think all drugs have some nootropic value. Even just something that seems purely recreational, like I don't know, opioids.
This area over here
can have
more interesting.
It's sort of a morphological freedom of the mind. I think we should all be able to explore different states of consciousness. It helps you to understand yourself better.
Maybe this.
But you don't have to. It's completely up to you. But some people find it helpful, so I don't see any reason to tell them not to. What are you watching? I made this playlist of my all-time favorite YouTube videos, which is on this channel. And there's a few of them. It's not that many, but I'm just watching them all, and this is my reaction video. I'm now a reaction video YouTuber.
I want to be in this hall up in this area.
I don't think it's necessarily a matter of being naturally introspective. If you're really good at deluding yourself, the introspection can become muddled by weird justifications. I'm the type of person that pushes things out of my thoughts. I don't want to think about the problems, so weed helps me work through it. And I've found myself doing that more without weed as well, because it feels less scary thing now. Sure, I can relate to that. I wouldn't say that necessarily applies to everyone, but I'm not gonna deride anyone for if they've had a good experience, then it's fine. As I understand it, Outlaw, you have you have some sort of schizoaffective disorder, right? And I've heard that weed can make those symptoms stronger. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you know what you're doing, but be careful out there. Be careful out there. Remember to practice harm reduction and all that shit. Just stop weed, don't justify it with your masturbation. It's more individualistic to be straight edge, since the entirety of society is self-medicating. Tramp Stamp, you're not going to convince Outlaw with arguments of individualism. Let me tell you that. But I disagree with that 100%. It's impossible not to self-medicate. Rather, we should embrace the freedom that comes with the ability to change our minds.
I'm not sure. I'm happy to be content, though.
Again, I don't have any problem with straight edge people. You can do what it's you. I just think no one should really have a go at anyone else for what they put inside their own body. You know, I think that's something that should be your own choice. I like this drawing. That's a good one.
Feelings will come and go, thankfully and unfortunately.
Wait, is this on my main channel? No, it's not good. Just making sure.
I do want to be an old person one day.
Yeah, I definitely disagree that it's more individualistic to be straight edge. I don't really think drugs have anything to do with individualism. I can't see any sort of line connection there. So you went from a music channel to a vlogger to a Minecraft channel. I'm still a vlogger, and I was never a music channel. This is my music channel. This one. the No
I might
channel.
have used up a couple previously.
Everyone has their own experience. I don't think we can broadly define experiences like that. What's true for you may not be true for me. That kind of dictatorial stance on life is boring. Yeah.
The sound isn't too annoying.
Yeah.
I kind of like the sound.
Well said.
On paper. I kind of like
Bipolar schizophrenia.
It's very satisfying to me.
You know, interesting. I didn't even know that was a thing. What are the symptoms of? Is it related to bipolar disorder? Because I have a friend in real life who has many of the symptoms of bipolar disorder, like pretty much a textbook bipolar case, but also has some like what's it called? Psychotic, is that the word? Like some things that are, sort of make sense for a schizophrenic thing. So maybe that's what he has. He doesn't want to go to a doctor because he doesn't trust doctors. That is interesting. Well, everyone's brain chemistry is different, so it makes sense that drugs would affect different people differently. You shouldn't expect the same results with everyone. I don't think there's a point in being in it, like. I don't think you should just be mindlessly contrarian to be like to feel like more of an individual. But I don't necessarily think that it's like trying your hardest to be a normie is the best way to go about life. I have tried that, and it definitely wasn't good. It wasn't a good stage. But if you're just trying to be contrarian to hold on a minute, I got a video here. Yeah, I've been watching Meltdown by Nick Land, cause I have. Hegel's Phenomenology and Incels. Hegel and Incels. Let's see if I can find this video. I'm sure you've seen this. Basically, there's a bit here where he says. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, somewhere around here.
Possible. Even people who make it part of their personality that they are not like others precisely define themselves in reference to those others. People who say, "I don't care what others think," feel the need to say this precisely because they desire at some level to receive some kind of recognition. Because of this, recognition plays...
Yeah, there you go. I pretty much agree with that. You might think I'm lying, but I'm not a Hegelian.
You can't stand up straight because there's no room on this post-it note. It's tough.
Some interesting philosophical discussion going on right now.
Do you want to draw a diagram? Like,
I definitely disagree that we're all alone ultimately, because that sort of
so to get from here, you need to follow
presupposes
path,
the individual
that is to say,
as something completely separate from the other, which is not a view that I agree with.
In this direction,
personally, I like to. I subscribe to the idea that the individual is something undefinable by language, at least, and
over to this box.
Any attempts to define it will inherently be flawed in some way. I believe. I haven't read any Deleuze, but I believe Deleuze calls it the body without organs or something along those lines. I really need to read Deleuze. I've heard a lot of his ideas seem really interesting to me, but yeah, something along those lines. Or I mean, if you want to bring Stirner into it, the creative nothing is probably a pretty good description of something akin to the individual. But I don't think we're all alone ultimately, but I also don't, I think the individual versus group dichotomy is a little,
pretty good. Don't it?
Because it's kind of an oversimplification. There's no real reason to separate those two things into their own distinct categories. Individuals are, I mean, groups are made up of individuals and groups influence individuals. The relationship goes in all directions. Both directions at once. I also have a problem with humans are designed biologically type arguments in any sort of context, because we're not designed to do anything there's no prescribing intent on evolution is kind of a dangerous road to go down, I think.
I feel bad that I do say important sometimes when it's so clearly important.
I agree, but those collective influences mixed with our varied brain chemistry gives different results for everyone. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's important. I mean, if that's not important,
then
what is?
Since no two people grow up having the exact same experiences, no two people will be the exact same two people. And of course there's the biology of it as well. No two people have the same brains. Like, not even biology, physics. No two people are the same objects. And as far as I understand it, consciousness is an emergent property of positions of electrons in our neurons, right? And because no two people can share every single one of those positions from even from a quantum physics perspective, it's impossible for them to be shared perfectly. No two individuals would be exactly the same.
I like drawing people with no necks, just their heads buried deep in their...
We are very contrarian as a species to our biological nature. We have an almost anarchic desire to resist it. I guess that's true in a sense, but I think it's a little bit of a broad stroke to cast over. I don't think like we as a species are, but I think there is sort of a tendency towards that within modernity. Yes. I would say that phenomenon is more sociological than biological. This is a very interesting discussion. I'm glad I did this stream.
Creatures to define him as a human, but he's a guy, nonetheless. You have to take my word for it.
I know there are studies that show that humans are happiest in groups and that sort of thing. I mean, I'm not going to deny that
Draw some parallel lines,
humans are probably better off in terms of happiness by being in groups. But
cones and rods in your eyes.
My problem was with the particular phrasing of
they're even better for your eyes.
Humans are designed to, because I think that I just don't like that the way that's phrased. I kind of understood what you I get what you're saying though. Like
lines to draw, no time to research things.
You know, I don't have to explain myself. You know what I'm saying.
This is his mouth, this is his tongue, this is his upper teeth, this is his eyes, ears. He's yelling.
I think evolution definitely does play a factor. Upbringing is more where our evolution reaction begins to change. Society makes you more rugged and antisocial, but instinct is not to do that.
Got a big mouth.
Good point.
Here we're going to draw some balloons. Okay. These are to make you feel happy.
I don't agree with that.
Are only for happy times.
I don't think that you would be content with life, or society would never have moved away from that
you should feel
model. I don't necessarily even think it's possible to be content with life, and especially not like that.
Chemicals up. There's a lot of them. This one should make you a little sadder. What do you think? A little more melancholy. Power strokes, that's what these are. What do you think about this? Tell me. What do you think about this? In the comments say, this is what I think.
That's very interesting, Outlaw. Maybe it's to do with the cultural role that schizophrenia plays in the West. You know, in media it's always represented as having those sort of violent hallucinations and stuff like that.
Get a little bit stuck.
I don't know about what Asian culture's relationship is, but that's interesting.
Make sound effects while you do it.
And since, as far as I'm aware, schizophrenics have always existed. Like, it's pretty much always been about 1% of the population is schizophrenic. Oh, please do. Please link me to the study. That'd be much appreciated. So it'd be interesting. I don't know. I've never looked into this, but it seems to be an interesting. I bet it'd be interesting to study the sociological
It's pretty.
relationship that culture has to schizophrenia.
That's a fancy clothes hanger. Huh? Now you see it. Now you don't. Now you see it. Now you see it on its side.
I wouldn't necessarily
wonder
go that
if
far.
the ink
Tramp stamp.
bleeds through.
I do think there's sort of a special form of creativity that only people with certain mental states can appreciate or perform.
Or along the side where there's none at all.
I wouldn't necessarily class that as some sort of supernatural,
Barely bled through the
higher
face,
dimension
not
type
at all.
thing.
That's science for you. We just have to do that experiment a million more times to know for sure. A million is a magic number when it comes to science. You have to do every experiment 1 million times.
Is the stream stuttering? The streams always stutter.
I do like drawing arrows. It's very, arrows are...
My beard's getting really long, you know. I like these arrows.
Somehow.
These are fun.
We agree on arrows.
Hold on 1 second, guys.
Did anyone ever have to explain arrows to me, or did I just automatically understand them? I don't remember learning about arrows, but I probably did, huh? What's the opposite of an arrow? Just like a block on the end there? Like a circle? A semicircle? It's just like wobbling off into nothingness. I feel like it's more of an arrow that's like, gives like no indication of anything.
We're back.
Or maybe if the line comes out of here.
Some of their ramblings are
into
meticulous
like
yet
a poof of
accurate to
smoke.
varying degrees.
Stippling like that. Maybe that's opposite of an arrow.
I don't know.
Like that.
I mean, I
Still
don't.
at the end of a line.
It's not like
the
schizophrenia
line
does stops you from
gives it
being
a bit of
lucid.
Directional oomph.
You can still be a
Arrow is so
person
much
and
directional.
like know what's going on in the world, and you can still be very smart with schizophrenia. In fact, the chances are, if you have had
Guys that have
schizophrenia,
good news, I
you know,
ordered
it's a
boots.
genetic thing, right? You have it from birth, even though if it doesn't show itself
Right,
until
it's
later on in
healthy.
life. The chances are you would go through experiences that are quite different from other people,
These are puzzle
just
pieces
by the
that don't fit
stigma
together.
associated with mental illness in the West, which I think would probably make you a more
Solve this
interesting
puzzle.
person. So, and you would probably have some unique experiences that may lead to you being able to think in ways that other people aren't sort of predisposed to think, because
I'm
the
trying to-
society that they see is different
Dragon?
from, like, the society that neurotypicals
I lost my
see
way.
is different from the
Kinda
society
dragony.
that non-neurotypicals
Right.
see, because
It has been. I don't
like,
know if you guys
it
realize
just, even though it's the same system, it
but
treats different
it has
people
been
differently,
far,
in the same way that
far too long.
black people see the world
That's scripted.
differently from white people, not necessarily because of any biological predisposition, but just because they're treated differently in general by, you know, whatever systematic stuff. This is a good one. This is a good drawing.
Alright. That's what I needed. This looks like a tooth. I've been kind of a little worried about my teeth lately. This is like reading my own tea leaves. Reading my own nameless doodles. Seeing what I see.
You have it because your dad has it. Yeah, I think a lot of mental illnesses are like
You're a
more genetic
psychologist
than people give
or
them credit for.
psychiatrist. I don't know the difference between them.
But
Kindly
obviously
look away
schizophrenia
right
is
now. I feel like
very much hereditary.
This is too personal for a trained professional. Who knows how to interpret such things, you know?
I don't want to fetishize it of it. I don't want to say like it's cool or whatever. I just think it's interesting.
That one was so obvious.
different,
Laughable.
the sort of more rare
Hard to be
views
professional
that
to
come
that
from
one, that's for sure.
newer divergents are interesting. May not be fun. I mean, I'm sure it's sure it sucks at some points,
I'm
but
still drawing feelings this whole time, by the way.
that doesn't necessarily mean you have to draw
not to
the
draw feelings, because you're always feeling your
blanket
feelings,
line of it
and
being
they filter right down
a terrible thing.
your
I
neck,
think it's totally
and
possible
then
to live
down
a
through
fulfilling
your
life
shoulder,
with schizophrenia.
not just your shoulder.
Not that I have schizophrenia or have any
down to your
experience
chest,
or
down to your other shoulder.
not that I have
I'm more
any
concerned with
authority
how
to
they go
speak
down
on
your
this
shoulder,
subject, but
down to your upper
that's
arm.
my thoughts on the
Is this your
issue.
upper arm or is this your upper arm? Down into your whole arm, through
Going to
your
more
elbow,
thorough for going to
through
read.
your funny bone, down through your wrist,
You shouldn't be looking for
down to
anthem cred,
your
mate.
hand, spread out
You
evenly.
should read
and all your knuckles,
gender accelerationism
down
instead.
tingling fingertips. My fingertips aren't
But
actually.
see
tingling.
ya.
I think that'd be a bad sign, but you know it. It all gets there.
I don't know if I should have started. I think I'm going to skip the second part of this guide and go straight to this one. Some more interesting videos for the stream.
That one looks like a weird little dog, kind of.
That does look like a weird little dog.
Kind of cute. You can say hello to yourself sometimes. And you say hello back. Good. That's polite. Right? Good. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's practice drawing telephone cords. Not that anyone uses corded telephones anymore. Still a valuable skill. Just in case, right? The hardest part is when your arm, because you're slowly moving your hand across the paper, the hardest part is when your arm kind of gets stuck on something and it messes up your flow.
Mm.
And the emperor has to find a new groove.
That one didn't get off to a great start, but he pulled it back at the end.
Very satisfying.
That does look very
I encourage
satisfying.
you. I'm not sure what I'm encouraging you, but I do encourage you.
That's the reason I don't stream on my main channel. Although, maybe I should.
Mm-hmm.
But I know some
You ever
people
been-
IRL
you
that
ever been
subscribe
this
to my
good?
main channel. And
What
it feels kind of weird.
were you looking like this for? What were you looking like this for? And then what were you reaching for?
I like this.
You need to visualize it.
I like that
And
one.
then take a shower.
Take a shower.
Hygiene is important.
Normally my main channel is reserved for just music stuff. So if I stream
Important.
music production, I think that's when it should go on my main channel. Although sometimes I just ignore that rule and just stream music production on this channel as well.
This shirt is ill-fitting.
I was
but it
supposed to
looks good
keep
on
doing
you.
You Send It, I Art It, but I've just
So
sort of
keep it
stopped doing that. Because the samples were shit.
Have you ever thought about how there is, in the midst of all of us, unbeknownst to most of us, I don't know. I couldn't think of anything to say. I was just kind of starting a sentence, hoping it would
How's your mum doing?
kind
She's
of
still gonna
finish
have to
itself
get a
out by the
job.
time I got to that
Um,
point, but it didn't.
She's not doing great.
There probably is some crazy stuff out there
But,
though, that I don't think or
Um,
know about. It would back maybe
we
it's
don't
so crazy
actually
that I
know-
cannot know about
like
it.
she got an MRI scan
Just
recently,
cannot. For some
but we're not.
one
the
reason
results
or
haven't
another,
come back
I
yet, so we're not
cannot know.
entirely sure what it is. once everything is clear, then I will know for sure. But for now, I can pay my way.
I mean, what does this remind
I
you
can
of?
pay my rent and stuff to live here.
Right. I know, me too. Me
Just with
too. Guys,
the
I'm
money
getting a
that I
bit
currently
sleepy.
make.
I'm like
and,
soothing myself into a
student
lull.
finance.
I mean, I was already sleepy. These are elf boots. See? Zip. The double knot. The laces. The jingle bells. Jingle bells. Now those kind of look like weird ice skates on there. They're just supposed to be reinforcing the boot. That's all.
Yeah,
Elf needs a
let's
pair of
hope it's all good.
winter
Let's hope everything turns out well.
boots.
You know,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
shoulder replacements aren't like,
Uh-oh.
it's not
This is
something
a
that goes
sad
wrong
one.
very often, so it should be fine.
That's a sad one right there. Oh,
She is in a lot of pain though, which is
poor
sucks.
guy.
But you can't do anything. There's nothing to be done.
Look at this. Watch this one. Watch.
How long's left of this? Alright, I'm gonna go to the toilet really quick and
Watch
be
it
back in a
carefully.
second. I'm not gonna pause the video. You can keep watching this to entertain you.
There's so many things happening right now that we don't know about. Sometimes that bugs me, and sometimes it's just comforting that I don't need to know about all the stuff that's happening. I mean, maybe I should. It's my responsibility to have some desire to know more about all the things that are happening, but it's just pointless. Just pointless. I don't even remember what I was just saying. This is a good one right here. I like that. I'm almost asleep while I'm doing this, to be honest. This one looks like an alien. With great hair. We come in peace. Doing the I love you sign. Very hip. Very cool alien. I used to get the I love you sign and the rock fist mixed up so much. I might have been at a few concerts or something doing the I love you a lot, which isn't bad. It's all about intentions, maybe. Maybe it's not all about intentions. I take it back. You like this? Do you like this ornamentation? I'm gonna decorate a whole palace like this. Whoop whoop, whoop whoop, whoop whoop, whoop whoop whoop. Chip, 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 chip. Da-dum. Perfect. That's the perfect drawing right there. Oh, now it's perfect. Oh, nope, no. I was about to put a little dot in the middle of that square, and it would have irreparably
This is a good square.
doomed the whole drawing.
Did I miss anything?
Has anyone else noticed it, that I do draw a lot of the same lines? It's most apparent when I'm first starting out a drawing. The same lines in the kind of the same vague shapes over and over again, like my hand is stuck. It's really weird.
Well, I
It
think
happens to me.
it's that not that I made this playlist
Okay.
thinking that I would be doing the stream, but I probably should have started with some of the more interesting videos on here, some of the shorter, snappier videos on here. I think I'm definitely going to skip the second, episode of this. but I want the satisfaction of seeing him finish the drawing pad.
Very weird.
Oh, this isn't a toilet break anymore.
I was talking about. I had like a really weird brief micro sleep. I dream about seatbelts in a car.
You ever have micro sleeps? I think I've had a couple of those. I had sleep paralysis the first time pretty recently.
I'm gonna use the 2 corners.
That was an interesting time. I didn't realise what was going on until after it had finished.
It's like very hot.
And I was like, oh shit, I
And
guess that was sleep
video, but I'm
paralysis.
too busy drawing.
It didn't even,
Corners
like, I
swirling
had already
around.
wondered what that would feel like. But it just felt pretty normal. I didn't freak out or anything.
Good. Swirl away. I felt that before. I've either been both of these corners or one of them. And something else in the world, whether it's another person or just some force of nature or just like any other entity, whether big or small, whether it was just like a stuck
I'm
door,
gonna check what this
or
person
if it
is.
felt like it was the entire world.
Huh.
You know, sometimes it feels like you're swirling around and against, and it's just like
I think I've been one of those
crazy,
corners
never
before.
ending. Sometimes stuck doors are more difficult to fix than you think they should be.
I'm a little bit out of it today. Like, I feel a little weird. Like, my sleeps were weird or something. That was a good one. That was a good feeling.
That's a cute one.
I'm glad he likes it. I chew
Maybe
things a
for
lot.
left.
I've been chewing my t-shirts like a child again,
Two.
which sucks.
One. This looks like like I'm playing Hangman. Guess a letter.
Oh,
Nope.
fuck.
It's not L.
Oh, that's not what I said.
Guess another letter.
S.
Not E. E is usually what people guess first.
That's true.
It
E
is
a good
T.
one. It is T.
Not S.
I already said S.
Yes, R. Yes, A. Good job.
Oh,
Turn
thanks.
his head up there to dry. Well done, everybody.
I don't think anyone's watching the stream anymore. But I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna keep talking like I am streaming to people.
Alright, thanks for hanging out, everybody.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I'm gonna go to sleep now. It's gonna be really
I
good.
have 6 messages. I'll answer
Go
all.
into bed.
Whoa. I'll look at all of this stuff after the stream.
Turn the fan on so it blows on me, even if it's not hot in my room. I turn the fan on so it blows on me, and I pull the covers up over me so I can get nice and cozy and warm, and I have
Yeah, I'm just gonna skip to
the
the next
music
video now.
playing, just-
These are the good ones. It's a damn
It's a
shame
mistake.
that everyone left before we got to the good videos. It's a damn shame. Maybe, what should I do? Come back. Come back, people. I wanted
To
to
only
watch the
document the
videos anyway.
exceptional, those one-off events that you'd have remembered forever regardless. In a way, it's the everyday that's more interesting to look back at. You might think that your everyday routine is boring and repetitive. It doesn't seem to evolve day by day. But over the years, those changes add up. It's only with hindsight that you realise how much everything has changed. I can look at any old picture that I took from 2010, and it reminds me of something I didn't know I'd forgotten. Steam was green. Motivational posters were the pinnacle of dank memes. One of my friends had a strange afro hairstyle that I don't seem to remember. And oh wow, I was still using XP. You get the idea. I'll occasionally
It's very
stumble upon a
impressive.
song in my playlists that will bring back an oddly specific memory that I don't remember thinking was important at the time. Now I'm kind of prepared, and I'll occasionally record an hour on my computer just to be able to revisit it in 10 years' time. But this is not a video about nostalgia. I do enough of those already. Instead, I'll be talking about one area in which my life is better than it's ever been before. It's just that I have to explain what it used to be like first. When I started YouTube, I was concerned about my health, sat there in front of the computer all day, every day. I needed an excuse to go outside, and an Asda supermarket
that.
was conveniently about 25 minutes away. I'd make it a daily routine to go there and to pick up a treat of some kind. I'd listen to my MP3 player and think about the video I'd work on when I got back. Nothing much happened on each walk. but over time, the memories began to accumulate. That time there was mist in the graveyard, another time when I had to take a detour and discovered a better route that I could use in future. I remember knocking on a door late at night because they had left their car lights on. Over time, the route I took absorbed memories, and an ordinary walk to the supermarket became something extraordinary. Looking back, that humble little walk was one of the defining parts of the year, and is a pilgrimage that I still try to relive whenever I visit my parents. I heard of people holding a long walk in high regard, but I never understood its significance until I had my own little walk to Asda. And it's something that I lost when I moved to the city. Now, everything's available within a few minutes of my house. My Asda walk got replaced by my daily Aldi routine, but it wasn't the same. And somewhat counterintuitively, being in the city centre puts the closest superstores out of reach. The closest Asda superstore, for instance, is over 5 miles away. Then one crazy day, I decided to do it. Maybe I was trying to beat my daily step record. Maybe I just wanted a challenge. I can't remember. But I managed it. It took me 3 hours to complete the 10-mile round trip. Along the way were long, dull stretches of street and some intimidating crossings to navigate. I got back exhausted, but proud to have proven that I could do it.
I should give
Then,
this a try.
sometime later, I did it again. Now it's something I try to do every week, and it only gets easier and more enjoyable every time. I don't know what it says about me when a 3-hour walk through some of the grimiest parts of the city is a highlight of my life. I can't really describe what I like about it myself. My trek starts to split itself into stages, marked by a different set of songs on my MP3 player. Still fresh, I power up through Muttley to 80s beats, feeling unstoppable. At the half-hour mark, I start around Deus Ex Corner. That's the place when, on my birthday, I saw the sun, blood red in the sky, because England got hit by a cloud of Saharan sand that day.
That was fucking crazy.
After that is Unreal
I remember
Tournament
that.
Slope, where if it's a particularly nice day, then I catch a glimpse of the
This is a
hills.
banger. This Unreal
This is when the
Tournament
walk
song
gets
is fucking
awesome,
sick.
as this is the hidden slope of the hill that is usually on the horizon for me. Descending down the back of this is really like venturing into the unknown, discovering hidden parts of the city that most people will never see. Then, the most depressing place of them all, a dark subway followed by an uninspired walk along the main road. That's when Nether Animal kicks in. That bit of the walk is one of my favourites now. I know that, even if I turn back at this point, I'm an hour away from home. And rather than be distressed by that thought, it sets me free. Nothing matters but the next step. It's dark and there's not a lot to see along here. It's here that I enter a daydream, very much alone and with just my thoughts for company. Here, I'm beyond the horizon, beyond what is rendered from my house. No one will find me here. I begin to imagine strange situations, engage in heated discussions with myself, and for those few minutes, I don't have a care in the world. I don't get the urge to check my phone. I don't worry about reaching some video deadline. Those few minutes are reserved for thought. This must be what meditation is like, only I'm also burning some serious calories. Then I start up the hill to Asda. This one's the killer. One day I lugged an abandoned trolley up this hill at 6 in the morning, just for the hell of it. Returning it to the store, then taking this picture of the sunrise at the top.
It's fucking
And then
sick.
I get to return home again.
Yeah,
I often think about bringing someone with me on this walk, but I don't think they'd understand.
It's a
10
damn
mile
shame
shopping
that I
trip to
live
get
in a
to Tipside
dangerous
Inn is
area. I
kind of
can't
hard
do
sell.
nighttime walks
There's
because I
nothing
would
special
end
about
up
this walk.
dying.
I think that's what makes it even better. Any of you could have a similar routine, wherever you might live. The route may be standard, or even dull.
What was I
It's
going to
the
say?
challenge and
I
repetition
lost my train
that
of
makes it
thought.
special. I know that with time,
This is a
Moved on.
really fucking cool picture. An incredibly cool picture. In fact. Very cool.
on to somewhere else, my mundane little Asda walk will become to remember it by. But don't be stupid. I don't want you to end up lost in the middle of nowhere or run over at a dangerous crossing. Do it right, and this walk will be good for you, both mentally and physically. By the time I get home, I feel I've accomplished something. While physically tired, mentally I
I
feel
need to give
fresh
this a
and
try.
recharged,
I need to
justified
start
in
doing
putting my
long
feet
walks.
up and excited to do something else. Plus, knowing I can walk 10 miles opens up so many opportunities for me. I don't have to worry about public transport, or to rely on anybody else. Being comfortable in my own walking ability sets me free, and if I can't think of a video idea, I can just go on my Asda walk and let my mind run free. I'm sure I'll think up something.
This is really
Sleep
good.
and I have always had a very rocky relationship.
Come back. I need you. Why is this video in
I still vividly remember I had a week at university where I'd get cold and shivery at about 10 at night. Sort of like the flu, but not. I'd go to sleep and would have 8 solid, deep hours of sleep. I couldn't believe the difference it made. It was as though I was a different person. In the 16 hours that followed, I could actually concentrate and make sense of lectures, and enjoyed and even excelled at talking to people when normally it takes me so long to warm up. But then it returned to normal and I realised how messed up I had been the rest of my life. Since then, employers have interrogated my lifestyle, trying to find something I'm doing wrong. Family holidays are torture, and what is normally a waste of a third of your life gets stretched out for hours in both directions, with a bit of torture in the middle as well, because why not? In most ways, I have been very lucky. I'm fit, I'm healthy, I enjoy many things and have the freedom to do them. But with sleep, I rolled a 1. This has been it until recently. But 2016 saw me experiencing some more sinister things at night, or whenever it was that I was sleeping. I finally suffered sleep paralysis. I even had an out-of-body experience and some other things that Google search comes up blank for, but that perhaps some of you who are watching this video can relate with. I really did win at sleep disruption bingo last year. Let's begin. Somewhat ironically, this first video will be covering dreams. You see, I want to cover some of the least disturbing things first. I had a dream that my mum's arm turned green from a horrible infection. I was very young at the time, maybe 6 or 7, and it's in this dream that I first experienced lucid dreaming. This is where, midway through a dream, you become aware that you're sleeping. I was sat on the stairs when I suddenly realised that I could feel my eyes were closed. I paced up and down the stairs, trying to figure out a way of waking up. Then I woke up. Exciting stuff, right? I've had it several times since. I have it on long coach journeys, where I picture I'm sat on the coach, just like I actually am, but then I open my eyes and see the real thing, which is usually a bit different looking to my dream version. Sometimes realising I'm dreaming causes me to wake up and the dream begins to slip away. Other times, something scary is about to happen in a dream, and I scrunch my eyes up over and over again because that seems to be the only thing I can do to wake myself up from a dream. I went through a stage of trying to induce lucid dreams. There are several ways of doing this that I found online. The most effective I found is to count your fingers. I always have more than 5 in my dreams. Stupidly, even noticing this doesn't always cause me to realise that I'm in a dream. A lot of the time I'll be all like, oh, look at that, and carry on like nothing happened. But other times it does alert me to the fact that I'm dreaming. But first, let's look at how odd that finger test is. It's not like I've got a huge load of them poking out my hand. It's more like I'm losing count of something that I'm not really able to see in the first place. The truth is, your brain is extremely limited. Don't worry, mine is too. If you close your eyes and imagine a dot, you can do it. 2, 3, and even 4 dots are fine. But beyond that, it suddenly becomes difficult to imagine where they all are in relation to each other, all at the same time. You might say, I can do it easy. Yeah, you think you are. You're not. It's a bit like imagining a place you've been to and think you can remember. The hairdressers, or a local supermarket. Maybe your friend's house. You think you can see it clearly in your mind, but it's just a very basic representation of it. They seem like elaborate worlds, but when you stop to inspect it, it panics, then throws some information at you that it thinks that you'll accept. It's all just an illusion, an ever-growing lie. A private show put on to entertain you while you sleep. Doesn't that make you feel special? This place you're imagining, try focusing on one bit in particular. What colour are the floor tiles? Think you can remember the pattern? What about the ceiling? Who's in this place and what are their faces? Unless you've specifically paid attention to these details in the past, you won't manage a very good guess now. This is why you can't draw a very accurate picture of something from memory. Once again, you might think you can, until you compare it to the real thing and realise just how many details you've forgotten or misrepresented. The reason I'm dissing your brain so much is because dreams are the same thing. They're approximations of a situation, dipped in nostalgia that you happily accept as actually happening. Do you honestly think it's generating a massively complex world around you in real time? Is it really so superior to you when you're awake? I have managed to induce lucid dreams, and I have tried to control them. I've had some interesting results. Do you know what happens when you read a book in a dream? You see words. Doesn't make much sense, but your mind just accepts it as sort of okay, even if you're thinking that it's a bit odd at the time. And you're not exactly going to write a letter of complaint to your mind for shoddy dream crafting, are you? But what's interesting is when you reread the same sentence again, and it's changed. It's like your mind is generating the text as you're going. That's because it is. Did you really think your brain was going to bother writing information about what you've just read in a dream to its memory? Speaking of computer analogies, another time I kind of tried benchmarking my brain by smashing a rock into a million pieces to see if it could handle the physics. It could. Just as, right now, you can imagine a rock shattering, crumbling, and all the bits falling to the floor. Of course, the visual representation of this in a dream is far more vivid, and clearly your mind isn't calculating all those millions of particles. Just like when you try to imagine a place you know. It's telling your brain it is and you're kind of accepting it. Flying in dreams has been the holy grail for me.
I did that.
I've always been able to glide, and occasionally I can get off the ground a bit by wildly flapping my arms. But genuine, free flying has been beyond me for almost all of my dreams. When I can, it's exhilarating beyond words. One of the best experiences
It's really
I can
fun.
imagine.
It's incredibly
But I don't seem
fun.
capable of choosing
I've
whether
only
I
done
can
it once,
or not,
but it was amazing.
even if I'm lucidly dreaming.
And I
And
woke
that's
up
the
really
eerie
quickly.
bit.
But it was
Even if
really
you're
great.
aware that you're dreaming, you're not fully in control. You
I
can't
felt
just
guilty
conjure up anything
about
you
just
want
watching
to.
someone's video
It's like you
and
have to
not
send
even,
something to the
adding
back of your
anything to
mind
it.
and let it decide whether it wants to or not.
There should be.
One time I
There should
tried,
be
the
adding
dream went all
things to it.
cartoonish, as though my subconscious was
What
showing
I'm
me
adding
how
to
rubbish
it
my dream
is,
would look if I took control.
my face in the
Now
corner.
that's scary. When you realise how powerless you are over your dreams and that there's something in your head choosing it for you,
Yeah,
beyond
that's
your
weird.
control. I could give examples of this, but I'm sure you know better
How
than
is
I do
Google
what
Earth
you'd
so
least
good?
like to
Like,
have
how
happen
does
to you
Google Earth
right
work
now.
so well?
And remember that by thinking of those things, you're giving your subconscious a chance to do them. And sometimes in dreams, it's scarier when it chooses not to, as though it's raising the tension like a horror movie would. And you know what's weirder than having a dream? What it must be like for people who have never had them. And yes, people like that do exist. I know 2 weirdos who have never had dreams. It was only in proper conversation with them that I realised they didn't know what a dream was. My old housemate thought it was a story you made up in your mind before you went to sleep, and always wondered why people would think up nightmares. And my ex hadn't ever really thought about it. But the oddest thing was, neither of them considered it weird that when we're asleep, most of us drift into worlds created by our
That's
imaginations.
because they are
That have
having
some weird
dreams.
plot to them, and that we're only partially in control
Everyone has
of.
dreams, but
And
some
sure,
people
you
just
might go a
don't
long
remember
time
them at all.
between remembering dreams that you've had, but surely you've at least been aware of
Someone
having one
retweeted
at
me.
some point in your life. If I had never had one, then I would interrogate those who had, learning what I could about them. I might even consider the possibility that they're all in on some kind of big practical joke that only I'm not involved with. And if you think I sound crazy right now, just think of what we're all doing when we're asleep every night. Who's the crazy one now? And lastly, sensations and dreams. Try to imagine something horrible that hasn't happened yet. For me, I guess it would be a close family member dying. It's not a nice thing to think about, but you can't even begin to fathom what it would actually be like. And yet, experience it in dreams and it's so intense and feels so real. I swear that dreams can often feel more vivid than real life does. I remember crying to my mum when I was a toddler because I missed a nice dream I once had. I was such a pussy. But it confirms my point. The pure terror or joy that dreams can deliver has always been something that I have found fascinating. But it shocks me that when something does happen in reality, just how similar it feels to dreams that I've previously had where something like that has happened. Makes sense, I guess, since in both situations it's your brain telling you how you feel. But I swear that it can do it, even for physical things. It's had a good track record in the past, though I'm yet to know how similar acute radiation sickness or dying feels in real life. Not exactly things I want to experience anytime soon, so I'm happy just knowing what they're like in dreams.
It'd be
for now.
nice if I had more
It's really
Twitter
nice to get all
followers.
these things off my chest, to finally
Nah.
make a video about them.
What am I
And I haven't
thinking?
even covered the weirdest and most unbelievable things yet. I'll be saving sleep paralysis for a later video in this trilogy of terror. But you might have already had a bit of it yourself and
Well,
just
you
not
should make
realised.
more.
You probably know that your body is paralysed when you're sleeping to stop you from acting out your dreams.
Oh,
Have
you're
you ever
still
screamed
here.
from a nightmare? Perhaps try to shout out something,
He does sound
Most
a little
likely
bit like
mum.
that guy.
only to make a strange, garbled moan instead. That's a bit of sleep paralysis right there. I think the screams that people make when they're in this state are utterly terrifying. I know that I've made them. Sometimes I
never.
remember them. Other times I've been in a caravan and my parents have asked me why I'm screaming. Here are some I found online. Sweet dreams.
So please help us out.
Yeah. Oh, this is a thought loop. This is a really good way to demonstrate what a thought
Imagine
loop
the
is
same
like.
thought over and over again for what seems like an eternity. You do it, and yet it doesn't feel right. It feels incomplete. So you do it again, or you forget you just did it and have to repeat it anyway.
You ever have a
Slightly more
thought
frustrating
loop?
than before.
Thought loops are
This
fucking
is the
weird.
Tetris effect. It typically happens when you've
He
repeated
calls it the
something over
Tetris
and over
effect,
again in the
but
day,
that's
and your
not,
mind continues to do
what
so
it's
when you're
called.
trying to sleep at night. I've had it with accounting tea tables. I've had it with Unreal Tournament Deathmatch. I've even had it where I dream I released a video to YouTube that I didn't want to and repeatedly imagined having to make it private again, even though nothing had actually happened in real life.
I've had it
It's
with
infuriating.
being
Like a
in
5-second
Logic.
ad that plays over and over again, but you're not awake enough to force yourself to think about something
Do you
else.
ever have
Sometimes it goes further.
dreams where you
Occasionally,
like
I
you
wake
play a
up
game all day and then you
and
dream that you're in the
promise myself
game?
to stop thinking about
Because
it.
I had that with Minecraft back in the day when I used to be a child. But I've had it with Logic, with music, where I'm just like within Logic. It's a really fucking surreal experience. It's really weird. It's happened to me a few times when I spend all day making music and I go to bed and I dream that I'm in, like, within the program of Logic making music. It's very strange.
In a tent while out in the middle of nowhere. You'll see a trend with these experiences of mine. It's not the sleeping that's the problem. It's just getting there and the waking up again.
Yeah.
The difficulties of being half awake, yet not enough to be able to make sense of it. My dad told me about out-of-body experiences when I was a child, and how you could achieve it by concentrating enough when lying in bed at night, imagining a rope that you could use to climb out of your body or whatever. Of course, I was fascinated with the idea, and since I spent so long awake, just lying in bed, I would often give it a go.
Yeah,
I mean, I never
it's pretty
achieved
cool.
Not from trying, at least.
I remember it being.
But I
I
discovered
don't
something
actually
else
remember
that was
thinking
pretty
about
cool.
it while I was
You're
in
free
the
to
dream.
try tonight with
I just have a
absolutely
vague
no
recollection
effort
of
whatsoever.
dreaming about
In
it.
fact, it helps if you don't do anything, because the trick is to lie completely still. And I mean completely still. Your body actually doesn't like that. It'll give you an itch somewhere, and you'll wish that you could move to scratch it. But you can't. You just have to try and ignore it and carry on. You'll begin to notice every crease in the bed, every toe that touches another,
I've tried this
any
before.
muscles you may accidentally be using to stop your head
It
from
was
rolling
really
off the pillow.
uncomfortable.
You have to relax completely. It should only take 5 to 10 minutes before your body suddenly switches off. It's a pretty cool feeling. It's almost as if you're hovering in the middle of nowhere, unable to feel the bed around you. Don't get me wrong, it's nothing spiritual or even to do with sleep. Your body has just simply gone into a computery sort of sleep mode, having received no sensory updates from the world or yourself for a while. And you'll suddenly find that you can't move. Just kidding. You'll be able to move whenever you like, which will return you instantly to your normal, boring self with a slight jolt as your muscles kick into action again. But the plus side is that for a few minutes your body feels like it does when you first wake up in the morning, where it's nice to roll about and stuff. Makes sense, I guess, since in both situations your body's been still for a period of time. Honestly, I don't believe in spirits, or ghosts, or
I should
religions.
give that a try.
I'd like
I'm
to.
gonna try it tonight.
I'd love
Just
to believe
staying
that we're
still
part of something
completely
greater
and
and more
relaxing
meaningful.
completely.
I
Interesting.
just haven't ever found the proof I'd need to believe it. And I think it's doing a huge disservice to our world when you give the credit for anything fantastic to the supernatural. In the last sleep video I did, I said how I could see the coach I was sitting in, even when my eyes were closed. I don't think it's any huge stretch to think that out-of-body experiences are anything but an extension of that, especially when they're usually done, not just when sleeping, but when drugged during an operation, or when your brain's releasing a load of chemicals when it thinks it's dying. I'm saying these things now because you need to know this about me. I have no agendas
Yeah.
I'm trying to push with these videos, other than to try and document it and share
I've had a couple of lucid dreams. Normally I tend to like once I realize I'm dreaming, it's really hard for me to stay in the dream. Like I wake up very quickly. But I've had a few. One of them, the best one I had was when I figured out I was dreaming and it was like, okay, I'm gonna fly, and I just went like, whoo, like Iron Man style, and flew really high up in the air, and I could feel the dream slipping once I was really high in the air. So I was like, I got to do something to keep myself in the dream. So I started spinning really fast, and because there was no friction in the air, I was spinning like super fast, and then I woke up. That was really cool. That's like the best lucid dream that I had. I had a couple others, but they were just pretty boring.
Creeping into my awake state. It's not scary. I never think of it as an evil entity that I want out of my head. It goes further than just a radio station though. When I'm really desperate for sleep, I sometimes think up a load of abstract images and scenes to try and fool my body into starting it as a dream for real. It doesn't work. It's a pretty silly thing to try. But do this when your body's radio is playing and it's like you're given a hand. Less effort is required to think it up and to maintain it, as though your imagination is suddenly boosted by something else. Obviously the other thing being your subconscious. It can be exhilarating. I also wonder if it's why loads of artists insist that getting drugged up helps them in some way. I don't know. So, this subconscious character. He seems like a pretty cool guy. The sort you wouldn't mind as your flatmate. Perhaps invite him around for a LAN party occasionally. He and I have a strange, fleeting friendship that lasts just those couple of minutes before I fall asleep sometimes. It's never unpleasant. It's just a nice bit of company. A moment where I feel there's more going on than what I'm just doing myself. Somehow I don't think I'm ever going to get to know him better than that. But I did have a strange and similar encounter as a child. I was ill at the time. Nothing serious, but I did go to sleep in the middle of the day, which was unusual. Whilst in bed I had a vivid, feverish dream. I think I was playing a game of some sort on my
Fever
bedroom
dreams
wall.
are weird.
Sort of like Pong, only instead of a ball there were millions of triangles that I had to knock over like dominoes to generate an exhilarating rushing feeling. It didn't make sense, although it did at the time. I was ill, okay? But it doesn't matter. What does is that I wasn't alone in this experience. I was playing it with somebody. It didn't dawn on me how strange it was at the time. It wasn't like your typical dream filled with NPCs. This person, I didn't see. I only felt that he was there, playing this game with me. I felt so connected with him. It was comfortable, like being with an old friend. It's this feeling that has stuck with me, whether it's an elaborate dream or a glitch with my subconscious. I don't care. I just find it reassuring that I may encounter it again when I'm feverish or delirious, perhaps on my deathbed, looking for some sort of reassurance before the end. I'm struggling to talk about these things. I wouldn't have a problem talking about them in conversation in real life, but on the internet, with thousands of strangers, I'm not going to lie, I feel like I'm being judged. I know that I myself would be quick to judge somebody who talks about these things. The content of this video is straying dangerously close to what you typically find on those weird spiritual sites. Probably using that classic 90s webpage style. I'm not religious. I'm not under the influence of drugs when experiencing these things. And I don't think that I'm mentally ill. I just want to put out there that there is something interesting to explore in this half-awake state. Something unknown and mysterious. And that can still put me in a state of wonder and awe. And I don't need DMT to get me there. Just a crappy sleep cycle. But it's not over yet, for I've saved my most unbelievable and terrifying encounters with sleep to last, which I will be covering in a third video. Cologne last year was a great experience. To meet and to greet so many people from the CSGO scene, to experience one of the biggest tournaments in the biggest stadium that I've ever seen was something that I'll never forget. But there was something else that I'll never forget either. The journey home was a nightmare. Stuck on a hot, stuffy bus through the night. A guy slumped next to me, blocking me from doing something about that really annoying empty can in the hallway that would roll back and forth.
Oh, I hate that shit.
I mean, I'll never forget that either.
Whenever there's a fucking can on the bus and no one does anything about it.
Reached my room and collapsed on the bed, only to wake up about half an hour later. But something wasn't right. I felt uneasy. My body was locked up in fear, but it took my mind a couple of seconds to catch up. It didn't appear straight away, but in front of me, peering over the top of my computer chair, was a black figure. I tried to move, but it was as though I had suddenly become really lazy.
I've seen a shadow person before.
My fingers, and even those felt like they were submerged in treacle. So what did I do? I closed my eyes. Problem solved. Until I woke up for real and all was fine. I quickly filmed this bit of footage for science and then went back to sleep again because I was still really tired. What I had experienced was sleep paralysis. And I knew it was at the time too. Much like most of the internet, I had previously watched documentaries on it. Typically, English encounters involve something staring at you in your room.
Alright, welcome back,
always
Jalen.
far more over the top, where some evil being lunges at a sleeping victim, straddling and then strangling them, or worse. Mine wasn't like that. Mine was a dressing gown. Imagine being given the opportunity to see a ghost, to be able to say
It's
that you've seen it
because
with your own eyes.
I've seen
No
shadow
matter whether you
people
believe in them or not,
before,
I'm pretty sure that
but
given
not
that chance,
when I had
most
sleep
of you
paralysis. I
would
didn't see
experience it.
any shadow
Just to
people,
say that you have. Thing is, if it involves being
which is
alone
weird.
in a really scary
Shadow people are
situation,
cool. You gotta befriend the
I'll
shadow
have second
people.
thoughts about it.
They're like
Mostly sometimes sleep paralysis for me.
they're nice
I've had it a few
guys.
times
They'll
since
help
then.
you out.
There are three parts to
If
it.
you ever meet
It's worth
Hatman,
mentioning. The first is when it starts.
say hi to the
I
Hatman
said earlier
from
that you
me.
know that something's not right.
He doesn't know
I'd
me
really
yet,
like to
but
elaborate on
I'm
it.
sure he does.
Even before you see it, you know that something's staring at you. There was no doubt in my mind that I was experiencing sleep paralysis. There was a disconnection between my body and my mind, as though my body was still panicking about something scary, but that my mind,
Sorry, that
having just woken
moustache
up from
just
sleep,
ain't it.
didn't know what it was and was trying to make sense of my body's state. And I'm sure that the room sounded different too, almost like a very low-level hum or underwater bubbling
It's in
kind of
heroes and
the sort that
generals.
makes you turn around and to check that someone's not peering into your room from the
True.
doorway. I think that
Same.
some Russian guy shouted "Vlad" halfway through as well too, but I don't remember it
Vlad.
too clearly. I was kind of busy with a black figure in my room. The second interesting thing is the paralysis. It's not what you'd expect from paralysis either. I still felt as though I could move if I tried hard enough, but I just couldn't be bothered, as though doing so would require the effort of a marathon, just for the sake of doing it. My body felt
It
so
does.
heavy that I could only really move my fingertips or make some weird scream sounds.
Hold on a minute.
I'd love to
It
say that I
shouldn't.
fought hard and managed to break out of this frozen state, but instead I found it much nicer just to close my eyes and to wait for it to
Does
end.
it say that? I have no hold on a minute. What the fuck? I've never even played Heroes and Generals. What is Heroes and Generals? What the fuck? I'm clearly not playing that game. How odd. What the fuck?
I'm
I
clearly
think
not
I'm playing that game. Oh, it's me. What a very strange thing. You can't change it. It detects games automatically. But I've just been watching YouTube videos, so that's
Oh, and
weird.
third, it's that dark figure that I saw in front of me. That's not right. That shouldn't be there. Even before I saw it, I could feel a presence. You know when you're going to the toilet at night and feel like there's something behind you, catching up with you really quickly?
Oh, I hate that.
Imagine that feeling. That sense of not being alone. Only when you turn around, there's actually something there.
Have you guys had
That's
any
what
of
seeing
these
this thing was
experiences
like.
before?
It doesn't matter what it was. It's just that it was something. In my room. Watching me. Unlike this fantastic video you're watching right now, this thing didn't move. Didn't even look that convincing. It looked like it was shrouded in a pitch black cloud. Like a rubbish particle effect from Morrowind or something.
Yeah.
But it scared me. I feel like
That's
my
what shadow
mind needed
people
to
look
justify
like to me
how
as
scared
well.
I felt by matching it with something physical in my room. So it chose my dressing gown. Good choice. It felt like being near a person in the same way as standing near a shop's mannequin does. I don't think that this was the first time I had encountered sleep paralysis. As a child
Yeah.
once, I was lying in bed and something grabbed me
I
from
have weird
behind,
taste in a lot
putting
of
me
things.
downwards into the bed itself whilst exhaling deeply into my ear, like Didn't last more than a second or so, so rather than being scared, I was more like, oh, cool. But that phantom fabric that I saw after the Cologne event was the turning point for me. I'm going to call this the Cologne encounter, as it triggered a number of very, very strange events at night for me, even when compared with the other videos in this series. Indeed, since this first encounter I've had more sleep paralysis experiences. I've just pussied out and closed my eyes before I see anything.
Interesting.
I don't care if it's a rare phenomenon that could make for a great YouTube video. I just don't like malicious bits of clothing staring at my paralysed body. Sleep drunkenness. I'm going to call it that, even though a Google search reveals that it's already a term used to describe how people feel confused and groggy after waking up. It's not that, but it fits the term drunkenness a lot better. Only it happens when I haven't had any alcohol. Whatever this phenomenon is, it seems strongly associated with sleep paralysis. It makes you feel like you're drunk, but for me, it was more than that. I felt wasted. This actually immediately followed one of the later sleep paralysis experiences that I had. After shutting my eyes like a pussy, I found myself lying on the ground in the corner of my room, face down and absolutely ruined by alcohol. And I mean like more than I ever remember being in real life, to the point where you can't even do simple maths, which is the go-to Philip benchmark for drunkenness. I felt sick, threw up in my mouth in a very convincing fashion, and then was all like, hey, there's nothing in my mouth. At which point I woke up in my bed again, unparalysed and not drunk at all. So please,
Weird.
if you've had this, then let me know and we can start an official site
wonder if
documenting the
anyone said
idea or
anything.
something. I don't know. And this isn't to be confused with the far more amusing experience where it suddenly feels like your vision is zoomed in and that your room's really small. I've had this quite a bit and it lasts for a few amusing minutes.
I've never
It's
had
pretty
that
awesome,
either.
even though I'm sure that in reality I've just gone cross-eyed because it's so dark that I've had nothing to focus on. And now, just in case this video wasn't ridiculous enough, I'm going to top it all off with an out-of-body experience. I covered this briefly in my previous sleep video, about how as a child I'd tried really hard to achieve it. Ironically, when it actually happened to me for real, I didn't realise it was happening, unlike sleep paralysis, though I'm sure that they're still linked in some way. I don't think it's my spirit leaving my body or anything like that, but it's very interesting for other reasons. Much like most of the experiences listed in this video, this one happened shortly after I went to bed at an unusual time. Suddenly my head began fizzing, shaking, and I mean, this was really intense. This was like that popping candy stuff, only instead of it being in your mouth, it's across your entire head. You can hear it. This shaking, rumbling, vibrating feeling eventually extended to my whole body. I felt
My friend had this bit, which is what everyone who gets out-of-body experiences report the same fizzing feeling, but not everyone who gets the fizzing feeling continues on to have an out-of-body experience. But yeah, my friend had the fizzing thing, but it didn't go into an out-of-body experience.
as though I was being rocked back and forth, like being on a swing but with super fast forward mode enabled. It was a horrible feeling. I gritted my teeth and scrunched up my eyes and everything. And then it stopped. I was just lying in bed. But then my groin started moving, quite calmly, away from me, towards the other side of my bed. Before I knew it, my whole body was calmly floating in a similar manner, and I felt drunk again. Indeed, my first thought wasn't, oh wow, I'm floating, but rather, why do I feel drunk? By now, I was hovering above the side of my bed, and I slowly turned until I was facing downwards, checking to see if there's any alcohol next to my bed. Nope, I thought. Don't know why I could be feeling drunk. And that was it. I woke up in my bed having completely wasted the highly sought-after spiritual encounter with out-of-body experiences. Had I made sense of it, I would have tried to have read my clock, or to have travelled up to the ceiling for a unique view of my room, or whatever. You know, anything that could confirm or disprove that out-of-body experiences are something more than just elaborate dreams. I'd do it for science. But no, instead I spent it trying to figure out why I felt drunk. Damn you, sleep drunkenness! But with hindsight, the most interesting thing about this whole encounter was the fizzing head thing at the beginning. It seems common with out-of-body experiences. I can certainly say that it was more intense than the floating itself. Why does it precede out-of-body experiences though? In what way is it linked? And what separates these things from dreams is how alert you are. How can I describe this? Rather than a dream that feels real, it's real life that's imitating a dream. In a dream you take a lot for granted. Even if you do finally discover that you're dreaming, that realization is gradual, partial and typically midway through one. But with these, you're equipped with a capacity for thinking from the word go. It's you experiencing these things. Hell, even in my wasted, sleep-drunken state, I still had an awareness beyond anything I've had in dreams. It's like a switch that's usually turned off during sleep is accidentally flicked on.
Dreams are really interesting.
You just have to experience it for yourself to understand how uncanny that feels. Oh, and you're also aware of how they begin. With dreams, you start remembering them seemingly halfway through. But with these, I wake up in my bed and then these strange things happen. I mean, there are small jumps, like how my groin was moving, then suddenly my whole body was, or how I suddenly found myself on the floor for the sleep drunkenness episode. But my mind was already actively thinking, and I have recollection of events that happened before these things. In fact, it's the end of these experiences that are hard for me to remember. After the brief panic of what has just happened, I tend to sleep after them. With the out-of-body experience in particular, it only really dawned on me how strange it was the day after, a feeling that has been increasing ever since. In all seriousness though, I'm a lot better now. These things occurred when my sleep cycle was particularly bad, even for me. We're talking tired all the time and sleeping 3 to 4 times a day kind of bad here. Since then, it's gone back to monophasic, if still at antisocial hours, but at least I'm no longer haunted by drunken feelings, fizzing heads or rapey robes. And I'm quite happy with that.
I need to
Sleep and I, we've always had a rocky relationship.
to university
I have battled with my subconscious
so that I can
and have
sleep when
experienced
I
things
want.
that every cult religion wants to claim as their own. But they can't.
No, this
because
is
they're
him.
mine. All mine.
He filmed all of it.
There are a
it
lot of
seems.
wonderful things in this world, and probably in many others. But I still think that the most important and profound discoveries will be found inside our own heads. I don't need to explore to go on an adventure. Indeed, every night I go to bed, shut my eyes, and pray that I don't go on one.
Oh, more sleep stuff.
This for Harlem. 2014 was easy.
We've all seen this one.
We gonna make 2015 hard on you niggas.
This is the video that inspired me to make this channel, basically.
Yeah. Talk to me nice or don't talk to me at all. Big money shit.
Big money shit. I've seen this video a billion times.
I can't stop all my bitches. Fucking hundreds of bitches. Put a meal on my plate. 100 meal on the dishes. They screaming first time me up. First time me up. First time me up. First time me up. I can't stop all my bitches. Fucking hundreds of.
I'm not skipping this. Okay, I might skip insomnia analysis. It is 45 minutes long. I don't really want to watch all of Meltdown either. You could just read the text version of this. I would recommend reading the text version of this. If you want to listen to Microsoft Sam for...
Logistically accelerating techno-economic interactivity, crumbled social order, and auto-sophisticated machine learning. As markets learn to manufacture intelligence, politics modernizes, upgrades formula, and tries to get under. The body count climbs through a series of
Globe Wars.
emergent planetary commercium clashes the Holy Roman Empire, the Napoleonic continental system, the Second and Third Reich, and the
Yeah, this video is too much. Aha. This is a whole series. I would recommend watching the whole series so that you can really understand it. But I think the third episode is the best one. Maybe the fourth one is the best, but I put the third one on here because I think it might be the funniest one. I did indeed dress like that in a stream. The shades thing is just because I had shades next to me though. Wait, which stream did I dress like that? I don't remember. I don't have a bathrobe either. But yeah, I like that video a lot. I've seen it too many times though. I kind of want to watch it again. It's like the most rewatchable video on YouTube. He just talks about a bagel for the first bit. It's pretty great.
From Funhouse Studios in Culver City, California, it's Talking Stockings. Tonight, E-Zombies, Raul Coley, and mystery guest, Johnny Depp. Featuring Silk Stockings experts, Bruce. And now, here's your host, James Willems!
Hey, everybody! Great job. It's the OC Ska Boys and their band leader Bones over there.
trying to find this shit.
OC
Ska Kids.
Ska Kids.
OC Ska Kids.
Thanks for joining us. Hey, we're back. This is Talking Stockings. This is season 3, the season 3 premiere. We got our house band going. Bones, how's it going tonight?
It's okay.
Just okay.
His wife left him.
She did. She just left me for Nick here.
Cook.
So yeah, I want to thank everyone for joining us here tonight. We're pretty excited for this show. We got a lot on the slate tonight. This is a big premiere for us. In fact, this is the network said this is our last chance. So this is our last shot.
I did say that.
To do it, to get it going. So, but I want to introduce everyone we got here. We got the OC Ska Kids. Right, and Bones. We got our band leader Bones.
Single.
Bones,
Yeah, newly single.
Newly single, kinda.
Thank you.
I love those. That's one of my favorite things, Bones. The interband, like the interband, like things that happen.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you hear those stories about like David? You know David Bowie?
No, I haven't heard of him. No.
Okay, going around the table. We got Adam Kovic. He's a resident Silk Stockings expert. You guys may know him from season 2 and season 1.
What are you talking about?
He's here because he's just an encyclopedia of Silk Stockings. Tell us something you know about Silk Stockings.
I'm pretty sure that's
I
the
also
one.
fucked Bones' wife. He was there.
That's really. That's brilliant. That's great stuff. We also got Elise here. Elise, she's head writer on the show. So
I dreamt all of this.
we got Bruce.
Yeah.
We got Bruce here. He's kind of like what do you do?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Cheers.
That's what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really it's really exciting. We got Lawrence here. He's actually running stage manager now. So some of the biggest complaints we got from the first 2 seasons.
Well, that'll be why. Thanks, anime. King Records own a lot of anime songs, so it's probably I played an anime song at one point or something. Fucking bullshit.
Where that Lawrence didn't do anything. He was just kind of present, and that wasn't enough. And so we got him on. We gave him a job to do. We got guests.
What? Who?
Wait, don't you do a monologue first? Because it's a talk show.
This is the monologue.
You're just introducing everyone. That's not a monologue. That's not
Yeah,
original material.
You need to do like timely jokes.
The
like
network
things that
doesn't.
happened recently.
Network does not like that.
All right, so you want a joke? Or...
You walk out and you do your joke.
He's gonna date this episode.
Hey, thanks, Bones. Thanks for that. Hey, everybody. You hear about Adam West? Died at 88. He was Batman. Sorry. He gets it.
That's insulting.
Yeah, that's really
He
bad.
gets it.
That's really disrespectful.
Just got a star.
Very disrespectful.
Holy, there's a corpse in my bed, Batman.
He had leukemia.
So as you know, this show is a show where we celebrate one of the greatest shows, Silk Stockings.
I guess I never miss, huh?
And so it's a show. It's a show from like the when is it from, Bones?
The early 90s.
Camera Bones.
Early 90s, 1992.
Yeah, so 92-ish, and so it's a show. This is the show.
This is it. Silk Stockings.
This is the show.
It's
We should probably
terrible.
start though, right?
Anyway, this is the best
what
part
else
of
are
the
you gonna
video
do?
coming up in a second.
Hey, can we play Bones on? So can we do a little thing for Bones while he sets it up?
Hit it, man.
This is the funniest thing ever recorded. I'm hyping out too much. It's not that funny.
He
Full
closed
screen
it. He closed
Oh my
it.
Can you guys do one more?
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again, guys.
One more.
Same thing.
You can still see the stuff on the bottom. Go to video.
I think we have to do it again, yeah?
Yeah, we gotta do one
One more time. One more time.
What is your problem? Go to
They go to Kyoto in the end. Full screen.
You ruined it.
Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate that.
What the fuck do you do?
You're welcome.
You sit back there while
Bruce, you're welcome.
Can you get me something to open this?
You don't have to answer to that.
Can you get me something to open this?
I can open that.
Oh! Got him!
Okay, Bones, you didn't start the episode. We're on episode 3.
I wasn't told to start it. Yes, you were. I was told to make drinks. You were told to.
Lawrence is gonna do it. Give or take.
Right now, you sit down and you start the show.
We got new sponsors.
Oh, you got a symbol, don't you? Big man.
Kodak Film is a sponsor.
Start the show.
To Silk Stockings.
To Miyamoto.
Stockings. Miyamoto. May he live forever.
Hey, Bruce, you know what white pants means?
This channel is called
I'm on
Funhouse.
my period. What? Because I flaunt it.
This channel is called Funhouse. They don't make videos like this normally because apparently these videos aren't successful enough to be financially good. But they are good. They mostly make like gaming videos, like Let's Plays and stuff. They're not super funny, but they're just funny enough to put on when you're having breakfast, which is the only reason I'm subscribed to them. Also, because I've been subscribed to them since I was like 13 or something. Before they even had, they used to be on a different channel. They used to be called Inside Gaming. They used to be part of Machinima, and they left Machinima quite a while ago now. Quite a while, like years and years ago. Yeah, there are 4 of these, and actually the 4th one's pretty fucking good. The 4th one, they get really destructive. I'll just skip to a little bit in the middle of this video so you can see. You should watch it for yourself. Oh, you also have to understand that they are the conceit of the show is that they get really, really drunk beforehand. They do like drunk live streams once in a while, and this is what they record at the end of their drunk live streams. Like when they're completely hammered, that's when they do it. So that's part of the reason why it's fair.
So I'd like to introduce our first guest. You guys know him. We all love him here. He's kind of like a unofficial friend of the show, and he's also from CW's iZombie, which I know what you're thinking is not Riverdale. But we got Raul Coley on the show.
Hey, all right.
Say it ain't so wrong, brother, gives us something.
Raul, you should have some raisins.
You want some?
Yeah, raisin.
Yeah, he
I'm
loves
sorry,
raisins.
it's in the script. There's
He
nothing
told
I
me he
can
loved
do.
raisins before he
He
came
wrote
on.
that in. That's great. Hey, Raul. Thanks
man.
for coming on.
That's all right. Nice to meet you. Pleasure.
What?
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, we're happy we could have you on the show. This kind because like according to my notes, this isn't the first. So you were on season 2. Is this correct? You were on season 2 of Talking Stocktons. Is that correct?
That is, yeah. I was.
You were.
That was a private thing.
On the phone.
Yeah.
No, I was
didn't realize
broadcasting that.
I didn't realize that was broadcasted.
Do you think that, like, how do you feel about Riverdale?
Good
Do
question.
you like?
That's a good question.
If you could murder, marry, kill any 3 characters from Riverdale, who would they be?
Riverdale's Archie, right?
Yeah, that's Archie.
So I would.
Yeah, they got a lot of memes. They got a lot of big memes.
What's the question?
Pretty
I
good.
said murder, death, kill, Archie, or Riverdale?
Just killing all three.
Yeah, you can do any of them.
That one, the Archie, and the Jughead,
Oh, I love
and
this.
the Ginger.
So he takes out the film in this part because it's.
Raoul, watch it.
Watch this scene.
It's really good.
This is Riverdale?
Yeah.
So on your show, you eat brains?
No, our protagonist eats brains.
Your protagonist eats brains? Like your
The main
butthole?
character.
I thought Raoul was.
the
Raoul's the protagonist. I thought, right?
I'm not. I'm a
That's
supporting
prolapse.
character.
A supporting character? In the okay, at the opening credits, when it does, you know, like how a show has opening credits.
Yes.
Where's yours?
It's third.
Third?
That's what he said.
So that's after two other people.
Who booked him? Who booked him? You did?
What happened?
Who else am I gonna
James,
call?
what happened to number 1 and 2?
You guys 18?
Oh, okay, good.
You guys 18?
There's a lot of those reasons they've been sitting.
Can you hand them? Yeah, hand them a lottery scratcher. You can keep what's in there.
Off the scratcher.
So,
Can we do the point in the show, Bones? Do you think we can do the point in the show where we scratch the lottery ticket? You can't smoke in
lottery
here.
song, boys. Here we go.
You can't smoke in here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, bye-bye.
too loud.
We're recording a talking stalking
hey,
show.
Yeah, stick to the script. Just stick to the script.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, well next we have a new guest. We have a new guest because Raoul's tanking.
Is he here?
Still here.
The guest is here. The guest is here. Here's Adam. Here's Adam.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Careful. No, I need something to scratch off the lottery tickets. Just a quarter. Hey, did we get him? Is he here?
Yeah, really important. You sound so different on the phone.
Oh, a kiss between friends. That's beautiful.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Bones, are you ready? Yo! I'd like to welcome to the show probably the biggest guest, probably the biggest star in the world.
Hey, Raoul's here. He's here.
Wait till you see the guest.
Exactly.
Wait till you see this guest. I'd like to welcome
Johnny
Depp.
Oh my God! What?
Oh, well done! There you go.
Wow, it's Johnny Depp.
Raoul didn't bring gold!
Raoul sucks!
That is amazing. Wow. Thank you.
Wow,
Whoa,
finally a
it's
guest!
Johnny Depp.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you. I love the blazer. I love these.
You like this?
Very soft.
I can't believe. Thank you for being here.
Of
number
course,
one.
I
Thank
heard
you for being
Raoul would be here, and there he is, and that's all I needed.
You can ignore him.
I was going to, but I
Don't
wasn't
ignore
sure.
him.
All right, Raoul.
He's on a show
okay.
called iZombies, the show people watch.
What's that?
Do they watch it more than they watch Pirates 5 or Edward Scissorhands?
Wait, hold on. Raoul, do they? Do you know?
I know that Pirates is bigger, and congratulations. Why are you wearing your costume?
What costume?
So we do a show. We do a show where we like kind of watch it.
Can
and we
I
talk
have this?
about it. That's yours.
Why does he need that?
What have you done?
He's rich.
Have you been in 5 Pirates?
I have not been in 5 Pirates, but I have a pencil at home.
How many pirates have you been in?
0.
That's impossible. Everyone's been in a pirate.
I don't want to tell, but Raoul's on his phone.
Raoul, could you turn off your phone, please?
It's very unprofessional.
You're supposed to turn off your phone. I just want to get a couple sponsor stuff out of the way. The network stuff they want me to do this. This episode is brought to you by Riverdale.
Oh,
Raisin.
took it all.
You're welcome.
The episode is brought to you by Riverdale.
The comic?
And the check cleared.
I doubt that. That's
So,
not.
hot people on that show.
pills.
Hey, you're not supposed to be up here.
You kind of need the context of the first 2 episodes, I've realised, to understand some of this. The idea is that they're supposed to watch this show, Talking Stalkings.
When I get into characters,
I mean, Silk Stalkings.
I read the script.
As you can tell.
Can we do some scene play?
Yes.
So I can set up a scene.
But it has to be in Raoul words, like things he'll understand.
All right, so so you're trapped in a lift.
Why the fuck am I in this lift?
We're clapping out of obligation.
Chris and I collaborated on this earlier.
We did.
So you guys gonna do a monologue
We're gonna do a
together?
monologue together.
Dabble.
Yeah, I've got a time travel machine.
I know you do. You told me about it.
I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna cure your AIDS.
AIDS today, gonorrhea tomorrow. Oh! I get that!
Johnny!
Johnny! Johnny! Johnny! Johnny! Johnny!
Johnny.
Yeah,
How do you
that
feel
goes-
about criticisms that you have become a stereotype of an actor who
You don't have to answer that.
Didn't hear most of what he said. Could you rephrase that for me, perhaps? Something that maybe.
What's it like being a fucking hack?
You don't have
I like they have the fake commercial.
Oh, Johnny Dirt.
Oh, God. Oh.
I hit some phlegm.
Some spit'em.
Elise, what's next?
This is the part in the show.
You can't vape in here.
Digging that hole in deeper and deeper.
I love it. Laura Dern is crying.
Favorite actors.
Laura Dern.
Laura Dern. Johnny Depp says Laura Dern.
Laura Dern.
Okay, so this you're gonna think I'm.
Laura Dern.
Johnny Depp is my favorite actor.
Johnny Depp. Please continue. Favorite actor.
My favorite actor is Skeet Ulrich because he looks like Johnny Depp.
But he's not.
You're a dollar store kind of man, aren't you? Substitutions only. I got
Burn you.
only
You
got
got
official
depth
ingredients.
Depth charge.
It was a
worth
depth
every
burn.
minute.
Bones! That was alright!
You got depth charge.
Hey, can I go next? Who's the guy that's like the lead in Sleepy Hollow? Remember Sleepy Hollow from the 90s?
Christopher Walken.
No. Was it Johnny Depp?
Johnny Depp.
It was me.
Johnny Depp was in it.
My favorite actor's
You're
Johnny
right.
Depp.
Hey, favorite actor.
It's fucking Johnny.
We've converted him.
Alright, we're gonna wrap it up. So that's about the end of the script. I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Thank you for watching Talking Stalking Season 3, Episode 1. We're back on the air. We got brand new sponsors. We got gold coins. This is gonna pay for at least. Look how did we keep getting them?
Where do they keep coming from?
Where do they keep coming from?
Disney.
I want to thank our guest Johnny Depp. I want to thank our guests.
Me too.
And other guests. And I
It's a
want
pretty
to
good,
say thank you to Silk Stockings.
Sparrow
As long as you
costume,
guys
you know.
keep making episodes, we'll keep making good TV.
Let's
Play it out.
Anyway, it just shows them like this thing's done basically now, which is good. Sound system gonna pick me back up, yeah. One thing that I can. Sound system gonna. No, well, I'm not saying much either, so that's fair.
What's wrong, Betty?
There you go.
Nothing, she lied. I just...
Right, this is just someone else's thing. I don't want to watch this on stream, but would highly recommend checking it out. This guy, Raparu, he's like a genius, prodigy animator kind of guy. It's fucking sick, and the soundtrack to this thing is awesome. I'll just play it like in the middle of it. I already watched this on stream, so I'm not gonna watch it again. Alright, this is like one of my favorite series, if not my favorite ongoing series on YouTube right now. Probably the best animation series on YouTube, the best animation channel on YouTube right now. This guy called Umami. I just put the first episode on this playlist because there's like 12 of them so far and it's still ongoing. I'm not going to watch all of them, but I would highly recommend watching this whole series if you get the chance. I'll play you the first episode, which is only 1 minute long. Some of them are longer. If you like the look of it, I would highly recommend checking it out. It's really fucking good. I don't say that lightly. That's fucking sick.
The year was 1943. Our ship was stationed in Philadelphia and was equipped to generate an electromagnetic field that would make us invisible to the enemy. What happened instead? We were teleported to New York. And in that process, my shipmates fused to the hull of the ship. embedded in the metal, screaming for help. I was destroyed. Forced to regain my physicality.
Yeah. I need to patron him, to be honest. He deserves my money. Yeah, if you like the look of that 1 minute 40 long episode, I can't recommend strongly enough the rest of it. Yeah, now we're going for some old school shit. You may have noticed, you may not have, but you may have noticed that this guy's channel was linked on my main channel in the sidebar. You may know I used to do cardistry. This is my favourite one of this guy's cardistry videos. It's maybe not my favourite cardistry video of all time, but it's a good one. It's a good one. I like the way he does. He has a very unique style. The flow. I've always been really impressed by the flow of Kevin Malone's cuts, and he has it almost feels like a sketch. Like he has kind of a loose feeling. It's really good, and I've never seen anyone else who was able to do it properly. I guess I can talk over this one because it's just music. Is this the Midwest? Is this what the Midwest looks like? I imagine it is. He doesn't do cardistry anymore. He's mostly like an artist. Like I think he's a tattoo artist instead. Pretty sure he did all those tattoos on his arms and stuff. That move is like, no one else would do that. Ooh. Ooh. That is a damn good spread. That's not that hard, but it looks good. That. Look at that. What's that? What is that? Hold on. I need to look back at that and try and do that myself. That was fucking sick. Oh, I need to get. I don't have any. Just grab some cards that are floating around here. Whatever this clump of cards is. I need to figure out how to do that fucking move. That was sick. So what is it? So he's got it like that. Alright, I can. Then he like does this. What is that? What did he just do? Wasn't it just like? So he's in this position either way. Somehow he got into this position. Right. What the? Like that? And then he just goes like that? Something along those lines? That's fucking sick. I need to use that. I can't get it to look as cool as he does though. It's interesting, like the flow of that is very unique. That's what I like about his shit. Like the motions are not stuff that you find everywhere. I need to get back into making cardistry videos, you know. Maybe I should buy some cards tomorrow. Maybe I should buy some new cards tonight. It's not a bad idea. Is this young him? Very interesting. See? Fucking cool. It's another Peter Draws video. Oh, and everyone's gone again. We're pretty much at the end of this playlist. How long have I been streaming for? 118 minutes. I think that's good enough.
We are surrounded by inspiration. An almost overwhelming amount of inspiration. We each live in a world where we are surrounded by things. And many of these things were not created with the intention of inspiring us, but yet they can yield inspiration, and it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
You just stop and look and absorb it, take it in. Whether you live in a city or a wilderness, on a mountain or in a valley, inland or on the coast, it doesn't really matter. You just have to take a brief moment every now and then, or as often as possible, to look around and see what you can see. Look closely at the things near to you, or look farther away at the things not so close. Look at shapes and textures. Look at patterns, interactions.
I wonder if there's any cards at the bottom of that basket over there. I'm just gonna keep study up there while I go ahead.
There's so many beautiful things happening that were never intended to be beautiful. And for some reason, sometimes it's almost more beautiful that way. The crumpled chunks of asphalt around the puddle in the alley. The struggling and persistent weeds coming up through the cracks in the road. The mortar breaking down around the bricks in a wall. How knees collide with thighs to draw the feet along the ground. You wonder where everyone is going and where they're coming from. How many miles have been walked on these sidewalks? And how many more must have been driven on these roads as cars zip along, as leaves scoot by? What tree did they come from? What gutter or drain are they going to? The world is filled with purposeful patterns, and then within those and around them, there are many accidental patterns that are just as interesting as well. Walk down the street outside your house, or your sidewalk, or the gravel road, or the field outside your house, and you'll be surrounded, you'll be swimming in an endless amount of inspiration. It'll be incredible. Go do it. Open your eyes and ears. Go take a few moments to be a little more aimless than you might be used to. Walk a little slower. Breathe a little deeper. Look a little wider. See what there is to see around you. There are so many interesting things. I want to come see what you're seeing. But I'm busy. I'm busy seeing what I'm seeing. I'm having a blast. Scattered refuse and warped words scrawled on walls, and parking meters, and dumpsters. Plenty of undecipherable markings left on the sidewalks by city workers. Crazy knots and twisted, crumpled wads of electrical wiring and phone lines, seemingly strung up, pinned to poles so haphazardly by utility companies. Everything casting crazy shadows on everything else. Lights flashing and cutting through, then blurring and fizzling out. Buildings breathing out steady plumes of steam
to break in this deck.
Vapor. Trees planted in missing squares in the sidewalks. Vacant lots covered in scraggly grass or converted into eclectic
It's very hard to spring with a newly
gardens.
open deck.
People gathered behind glowing windows, locking eyes and moving lips, or even just being alone, together. How many dark windows and padlocked bikes are a human breathing slowly in bed, their exquisite body on autopilot, continuing to digest food, circulate blood, breathe, and plunge them into strange dreams, to somehow prepare them for another day on this incredible world. It's almost difficult not to have some sort of creative outlet after taking all of this in. I can't just keep on balling all of it up. Got to start sort of organizing it and letting it all back out somehow. Or maybe it's more of a disorganization or reorganization, whatever it is. When people ask, where do you get inspiration? It's more like, where don't I get inspiration? And really, the art of it is learning to get inspiration from everything around you. The beauty of it. The fun of it. And I'm not saying go outside, see a tree, draw a tree, although that's perfectly fine. I'm saying just go outside and just soak it all up and get filled up. If you're lacking any artistic inspiration at all, there's a whole world full out there of the widest variety. Every shape, color, texture, and pattern is just kind of thrown together in a beautiful kaleidoscope. Something no one human could ever create, but we're all out there in it contributing. So get out there and get a little piece of it, or a few pieces. It's pretty incredible. And whatever you decide to do, whether it's drawing a picture, baking a cake and icing it too, painting your nails, making music, or whatever you have the urge to do, don't start making excuses for yourself. Like, oh, I'm not good enough, or it just never turns out well, because there really is no standard for how good something has to be for it to be worth doing. Just go create something and enjoy doing it. Contribute something and you'll have a good time. There's beauty in the trash blowing down the street, and I know there's beauty in whatever you decide to make as well.
His style's really changed a lot over the years. When was this? 2014. Man, I remember watching this video when it came out. 2014. Whew. That's crazy. It's crazy. I wonder if anyone actually watches my streams back after I posted them. This is the last video on the playlist, by the way. Yeah, I wonder if anyone watches my streams back after I posted them. If you happen to be watching my stream back after I posted it, leave a comment telling me. Leave a comment and say say broccoli. Write a comment that says broccoli if you're watching the stream back after I made it. I don't expect to get any broccoli comments, but it would be a pleasant surprise if I did. Yeah. This is a great horror video because there's no jump scares or anything. What? Can I type bow equals 1 damage, please? Who are you? Never seen you before around these parts. I never seen. Ooh. Well, it seems like your latest video has something to do with bow equals 1 damage. Is this a Fortnite meme? I've never played Fortnite before, so I don't know. Let's watch your vid. You know what? I'm gonna watch your video right now. I think it'd be interesting to watch on stream. Let's see how you go. How your video is like. You seem like a nice guy. Bow equals 1 damage. Fortnite love shot duos.
So we're back at it again, Sunbreaker.
Yep.
So what are we doing today? Can you explain to me while you're dancing?
So basically, you see this skateboard right here, right? It's beautiful, you know.
Yeah.
So since crossbows do like 1 damage, we're gonna be doing a sky base.
Oh yes, Skybase. This is typical content you'll never see from anybody else's YouTube channel. It's the best kind of content we can all get together. As you're dancing away with your kindness.
Interesting. I never played Fortnite before. Is it any good?
Oh, hey, look at that! It's an OG player. Freaking OG players.
I haven't even looked at it yet.
It's an OG player.
I like the
He's just waved at me.
What's it called? Thumbnail of that video. This video that I'm currently watching. I think it's pretty good. I'd click that.
By the way, if you've seen the full screen graphics, I'm trying out something new, so hope you enjoy this type of content. You know. I'm acting on glider now.
Oops.
Try to get like an Elgato or something.
I don't know. I mean, this is my way of recording. Until I get an Elgato, this is how I can have to record. So beat it, Jackalope. Sorry, Jack. We're still friends, right?
Interesting.
This channel's in the description below. I don't know where I landed. I landed somewhere near.
1 crossbow.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Crossbows. 3 crossbows.
Right, pro tip, get your friend to record their own audio. Make sure that they record their own audio so that it's actually, you can understand what they're saying. I don't understand this video because I don't know how Fortnite works, but I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's entertaining. I'm not going to type bow equals 1 damage though, because I don't know what you're going to use it for. But I appreciate you coming to the stream. Not sure if I saw the pictures pop up on the screen. Hold on a minute. What did I miss here? What did I miss? Are you talking about on your video? There was no pictures. Don't know what you're talking about. That was a pretty good squeak. Good meme. Good memes. Good memes all around. Pretty much. If you see the behind the scenes of this video, he spent a really long time on it. It's pretty clever the way he like edited it and stuff. See, this is how you do good atmospheric horror, you know? You don't need, like, jump scares and shit. It could just be spooky atmosphere that makes it good. I'm not really sure what to say about this video. It's not very good, not very easy to talk over without ruining the atmosphere, you know? I've started saying you know a lot, and I'm not sure if I mean I did it while thinking about it, but now it's sort of become a habit. I'm not sure if it's a good habit or not. Let's skip forward a little bit. This room has no taste. He has no style. He has no grace. This Kong has a funny face. Well, that's fucking terrifying. fuck, that's terrifying. Some good shit, I'm telling you. But then if his grandfather's dead in there, where's the sutra coming from? Sweet dreams. Check out the making of. It's very funny because I was like, "Whoa, that was so creepy," and it's just got like this anime music on it. Pretty fucking great. Anyway, that's the end of that thing. So stream's over now.